Put Jelly Roll through the table. Let the wrestler do something to the celebrity. But I mean, if Jelly Roll, who's been training for 2 weeks, can put, a Logan Paul through a table, then anybody can be a professional wrestler. I hate that message, bro. I hate it.
So we have Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
So Jelly Roll was on a late night show, and he was a guest host, and that led to a old school Johnny Carson-esque type of feud with a type of skit when it came to the tag team match that's going to happen at SummerSlam with Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Logan Paul gets chokeslammed. Jay Leno days was a big thing. I mean, when it came to Jay Leno teaming up with DDP against Karl Malone and Hulk Hogan, I think it was. And so we've seen this type of late night show integration when it comes to feuds. A lot of people aren't fans of it because of Jelly Roll and because of the late night, but this has been going on for a while. This has happened multiple times. What's your take on this, Vince, as far as just this late night integration with Jelly Roll?
Chris, my take's going to be a little different, and my take's going to piss people off, but that's okay. I do that for a living. I understand it. I get it. Huge publicity, even though let's be clear. Nobody watches late night television anymore. This is not Leno. This is not Carson. This is not Letterman. Nobody watches late night television. But even with that being said, no problem. It's the Kimmel show. Bro, this is what I don't like. This is why I would have reversed it. Okay? I hate the message of anybody can be a professional wrestler. I just hate that message, bro, because it's bad enough that we tune into WWE and you're already saying that. You're already looking at the Jordy Garganos and the Zanes, and you're saying, okay, bro, anybody can become a wrestler now. You're already saying that. Now I gotta put on Kimmel or Fallon. Which one was it? Kimmel?
I think it was
Fallon. Whatever. And now I got to see Jelly Roll put Logan Paul through a table, which would have never happened in a million years. I would have reversed it. Put Jelly Roll through the table. Let the wrestler do something to the celebrity. But I mean, if Jelly Roll, who's been training for 2 weeks, can put, a Logan Paul through a table, then anybody can be a professional wrestler. I hate that message, bro. I hate it.
I can understand that, man. And even you're not even a pro wrestling purist, as far as today's version of that. But, you are from an old school perspective, but not today's. I would even say the pro wrestling purist would agree with you with that. So, and you're right. It was Kimmel.
Bro, even back in the day, if you remember, if it was Hulk and a celebrity or DDP and a celebrity, whatever the case may be, this is the way they would always do it. The baby face would get heat on the heel, get the heel down, and then tag in the celebrity.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That they would always protect the business that way, where the only way Dennis Rodman is getting shots in is because the babyface wrestler did the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? They were very, very careful about the way they did that. And that's why I'm saying, bro, you got a guy like Jelly Roll putting a guy like Logan Paul through a table. I get it. I understand it. But I think there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, I can tell. I think the nuance in that, which I definitely think makes sense, is that, and you're right. I think I said Malone it was Rodman.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah, you were right. It was Rodman. But when it comes to the Logan Paul thing, I think the nuance in that is at least Logan Paul was the one who took the bump, and he's a celebrity too. To me, if Drew would have took that bump from Jelly Roll, to me it would have been absolutely ridiculous. I would not have been a fan of that. So it's the celebrities. I think it's still that celebrity mindset of I'm going to take one on the chin for the business. Just to continue to earn my stripes. And I think that Logan Paul still has that mentality of, I'm going to continue to earn my stripes. I'm going to go ahead and put people over. I've got a lot of namesake. I've got a lot of brand power that if I lose, I don't care. I'm getting the same check. I'm a heel anyways. So I'm okay with that as far as him taking the bump. But I do agree with you from a standpoint of, it's, anyone can, it does create that mentality of anyone can be a part of this. Yeah.
And bro, wrestling fans believe that. Bro, I swear to God, there are times, Chris, like if I go to a Major League Baseball game, there are times I'll sit there and I'll think for a second, can I imagine if I was in that batter's box? Well, like what that would look like. Chris, I swear, when I was playing ball when I was growing up, and I was probably about 16 or 17, okay? I faced a guy that was a pitcher in the major leagues. Mm-hmm. And bro, when I tell you at 16, 17, he was probably a year older than me, you were afraid to stand in the box. That ball was coming in so fast, you were afraid. And I always put myself on that level. Like, can you imagine the Giants put me in center field for an inning, what that would look like? But that's what wrestling is done. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. You can become, and I think that is the biggest insult to the boys. I really, really, really do, man.
So when it came to someone like you've got a point because I'm thinking in my head, okay, what would people say to push back to that as far as a fan's perspective? They would say, okay, well, Vince, you brought in Mike Tyson. But Tyson was a ref, though, and he wasn't in a match. And then Vince brought in Mr. T, as WrestleMania. But at the same time, I guess my argument with that would be he needed that, he needed that crossover appeal to bring eyes to this really, really high risk project that could have make or broken WWE as a whole.
And Mr. T was a legit tough guy. We knew he wasn't a wrestler, but we also knew he was a bouncer. He beat people up. He was a legit bad, what? So, okay. Let's see what happens to him in a wrestling ring. You know what I mean? I just hate the message, bro, that anybody can go away 2 weeks, practice, and come back and be a professional wrestler. And, bro, it used to be such a tight-knit community back in the day. That would have never happened. Bro, what happened? You know what it's the equivalent of? I'll tell you right now, Chris. Here's what it's the equivalent of. Andy Kaufman slapping Lawler on Letterman. No, that's not what happened, bro. What happened is Jerry Lawler slapped the crap out of Andy Kaufman. The other way around, it's like, bro, so anybody can slap a wrestler around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. To the point that Kaufman was wearing a neck brace and sold it very well.
Exactly right.
Exactly. And that was a Letterman. And again, that was for a standpoint of the Weasley heel of Kaufman, the baby face from Memphis of Jerry Lawler, using that as celebrity crossover to bring more eyes to the product, but still creating a very huge explicit divide that you don't belong here. What I mean? And that's what Kaufman did.
But also, Chris, what did Kaufman come in doing? What did he come in doing?
Beating up women.
He was wrestling women. It was okay, all right. He wasn't challenging Lawler for the title. Right. He was beating up women, man. That's But I again, I understand why they did it. I certainly get it. But I would have let Jelly Roll take the bump.
Yeah, makes sense.